we've been taking equations and getting information from them, but let's do the opposite. We're going to receive information and then make an equation out of it. So this is writing a linear equation given a point and a slope. So there is a formula that is involved, and we can kind of plug and chug. So that formula is, so let's say you were given a point. We're just going to call it x1, y1 for now. Those would be actually numbers, but so the formula is y minus y1, there's your 1, equals m, remember that's your slope, that's a terrible looking m times x minus x1. So that's going to be our formula. If you're going to follow any kind of career in math, it's probably good to just memorize that. But I don't mind giving that to you on a test because I hate memorizing things. But we're going to use that formula to help us solve these problems. So our first example, it gives us our point right here, and then it gives us the slope. So m equals -4. So just to put that in perspective, if you're doing like rise over run, that is the same as -4. Oh, wow. -4 over 1. So just something to keep in mind if you're ever dealing with slope and you have to figure out what a whole number means. So anyway, all we do is we just take this information and plug it into our equation. So our equation is y minus y1. So y minus, there's our y, 7. Oh no. Y minus 7 equals the slope, which is -4, times x minus x1, which is a -1. Notice I put the parentheses in there just to make sure that I don't accidentally drop that negative sign, because I've been known to do that from time to time. So then you just solve it, and depends on what they're looking for. They're looking for points. No, I'm sorry. We'll just solve it and get it into y-intercept form, so y equals mx plus b. So we'll just distribute the -4. It's going to be -4x. That's going to be a plus. And then -4 times 1 minus -4. Y equals -7. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. Then we're going to have y equals -4x plus, what is 7 minus 4? 4, 5, 6, 7, 3. Now, of course, my handwriting is terrible, but y equals -4x plus 3. There's your answer. Okay, so let's try our next example. It gives us -6, -5, and our slope is 2 over 3. So again, we're just going to plug it right in. So y minus y1, -5, equals our slope times x minus x1. And again, I put those parentheses in there because there's negative signs, and I want to make sure I don't mess those up. So then we've got y plus 5. And we'll just go ahead and distribute the 2/3. 2/3 x plus 2/3, let's see here, 3. So that's going to be like, what, 4? So, yeah, so 6 divided by 3 is 2, so we'll have a 2 left over. 2 times 2 is 4. And, yeah, that's it. Okay, so we'll move the 5 over, and we'll be good to go. So y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Minus 5, minus 5. And there you go. Okay, let's say they give you just 2 random points and they want you to find a line that connects the 2. So we can still do that because we can find the slope of those 2 points, and then we have at least 1 point that the line goes through, so should be fine. So, but we just need one more formula, and that is our slope formula. So I remember it, and this is kind of the physics side of me, is the change of y over the change of x, or rise over run. But what that translates to is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Basically, you take 2 points and you call it like point 1, point 2, and that first point has x1, y1. Second point is x2, y2. That's what they're talking about up there. It doesn't really matter what order the points go in as long as it's the same. So like that is 1 point and that is a different point. And then we'll use the point slope formula, which we've been using. Y minus y1 equals m, or the slope that we get from that formula. And then x minus x1. So let's try some examples. Okay, our first example got -6, 1 and 3, 7. So our slope is going to be equal to, so we can call this 2, that 1 for the x1, x2, whatever. So rise over run, y over x, whatever you want to say it. So I always think of rise over run. So we're going to do y and y. So it's going to be 7 minus 1 over x, -3 minus a -6. So again, notice how like these two are from the same point, those two are from the same point. Okay, so then we solve that. So 6 over -3 plus 6 is going to be 3. So the slope equals 2. So now that we know the slope, we can use our other formula there. And you can just, again, pick one of the points. Doesn't matter which one you use. So I will just use the first one. Clear some of that stuff off so I can see it again. And we're going to go, so y minus y equals our slope, which is 2, times x minus the x. So then we solve. Y equals 2x. So this turns into just a +6, and we're adding 1 to both sides, plus 7. Nope, that's wrong. Boop, 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 boop. This is what happens when we do too many things at once. I forgot to distribute that 2. So 2 times that +6 is going to be 12, and then we add 1 to it, so it's going to be plus 13. My bad. Okay, one more example, and I'll let you do the other 2 yourself. We've got our 2 points, so let's make it happen. So our slope, we'll do this one minus that one. So y's on top, 8 minus a -2 over -6 minus a -2, which equals 10 over a -4, which is also equal to 5 over 2. Kind of a nasty slope, but whatever. Negative. Don't drop your negative signs. Okay, so then we use this equation up there. I'm going to use this point because 2's, I don't know, I like it better. So y minus a -2 equals our slope, -5/2, x minus a -2. And solve. So that's +2. So then we've got -5/2x minus, so that turns into a positive, and then a negative times that. 5, because the 2's cancel each other out. See, this time I'm only doing one step at a time, so I don't miss anything. So then we move the 2 over. So then our answer is y equals -5/2x minus 7. And there you go. Oh, geez. Ooh, let's do some word problems. So, this one says a cab ride costs $4 plus $1.75 per mile driven. So, you get in a cab drive, you got to give them $4. Doesn't matter if you go 1 mile or 10 miles. And then after that, it is $1.75 per mile driven. This is actually pretty common cost structure for like cabs and stuff like that. So write an equation that represents the cab fare, define your variables. So we'll say, C equals the cab fare. You can't spell. And then M, we can call that miles. So then your total cab fare, C, is equal to, so you start off with the 4, and then this is per mile driven. So 1.75 M. So that means that if you plug in a 1 right there, then it's just 1. If you plug in a 10, that would indicate that you went 10 miles. So part B of this example says, if Clay's destination is 17 miles away and he has $30, will he make it? So I already copied the equation from the other side, and he is going 17 miles away. We want to know how much money that's going to cost. So we'll use this piece of information a little bit later. But 17 miles away, let's go ahead and plug that in. So his total cost for that is going to be C equals 4 plus 1.75 times 17. This is, you can just use your calculator. It's not a big deal. So that's going to be 4 plus 29.75, which equals 33.75. So then we can compare this number to the amount of money that he has. And so this is our cost. This is how much he has. And he does not have enough money. So no, Clay does not have enough money. So I skipped right down to 10, doing a different kind of problem, just using the standard form as opposed to the y equals mx form of the equation. So let's see how it goes. So Josh bought 3 bags of potting soil, 10 bags of mulch from Home Depot. So this says write an equation to represent the total cost, define your variables. So, I don't know, we'll say 3 bags of potting soil. We'll say P. I'm looking for like the cost of the potting soil. So P equals the cost of potting soil. And then what, bags of mulch? We'll say M is of mulch. Can't spell mulch. And then, we can say T is total cost. So then we put that all together, our equation is going to look like our total cost is equal to 3 times the cost of potting soil plus 10 times the cost of our mulch. So there is our equation. So if we move over, if Josh spends 40.91 on, if Josh spent a total of 40.91 and mulch cost 2.75 per bag, how much was a bag of potting soil? Okay, so they give us 2 pieces of information. This is our total. This is our cost per bag of mulch. So I always like to kind of write down the information that they give me. I know a lot of you will like go through word problems and underline. That's cool too. But I just like to write it down in my own words so that I can understand it. So our total spent was 40.91, and then they said, and mulch cost 2.75, and then M equals 2.75. So now when I write it down like that, I can easily see like I've got 2 variables. I'm missing 1. So if we look at our equation back here, so we just plug in what we have and then solve for the rest. So then we've got, our equation looks like 40.91 equals 3P plus 10 times 2.75. So then we can multiply the 10 out. So we've got 40.91 equals 3P plus, let's see, what is that, 27.5. So then 27 goes the other side. So then we've got 3P, and again, you can just use your calculator for this, equals 13.41. Again, divide both sides by 3. You'll have P equals 4.47. Boop. And that's our answer. So you try 11 and 12 yourself, and we can go over those in class. We need it. And all of this scatter plot, line of best fit, and then linear regression, we'll talk about all that in class. They have you here doing it on your calculator, but doing it on Excel is far easier and more useful. So that's what we're going to do in class.